Okay, we're here. Very casual. Trivium quiz 2020. Answers and solutions. Joined with me today, we got the lovely omgforz and tournament extraordinaire juankristal. How are you guys doing?
Hello. Doing fine. I'm doing fine at least. I hope Force is also doing fine, hopefully.
I'm breathing, I'm alive, so I should be doing fine, I hope.
Yeah, that's like really good.
Yeah,
wait, you're spoiling the answers already, Mango. What?
Wait, what am I doing? Oh, no, I forgot to full screen.
Good job, Mango.
I'm doing a wonderful job. I'm doing a wonderful job already. Yeah.
See, this is the reason why you're not a streamer for the O's live channel.
Yes.
Yeah.
At some point, this was debated to be streamed on the live channel. We're like, if this is gonna be as casual as I think it's gonna be, maybe it's not the best idea. I don't know.
All right. Just before we get started with the answers, I just want to do a quick mic check, just make sure everyone can hear us clearly. So if anyone in the Twitch chat can just confirm whether or not, and if anyone's a bit quiet or loud, just let us know, and then we'll just make a prompt start in about a minute or two.
It seems to be
loud.
Yeah, a lot of confirmations that we're fine.
Okay, that's pretty good. All right, guess we're making a start then. So, O's Trivium quiz. So, for the uninitiated, what is the O's Trivium quiz? So, the O's Trivium quiz was originally intended to be an invitational quiz aimed towards the OWC participants. So, for the past 2-ish years, I've been running games on the OWC player Discord, just very silly things. It started off with a map pool quizzes.
The cow hand.
Yes. It started
was it the map pool quizzes or was it the cow hand?
No, we started with map pool quizzes, I think. And then we moved on to we moved on to the mango hunt in CWC 2018. And then there was the noodle hunt. Yeah. And then after the noodle hunt, there was cow hunt, which was Deadbeat's idea. And then we had bingo, and we did a bunch of other stuff as well. And then for 2020, I wanted to do a quiz. Unfortunately, I think I put a bit too much effort into the quiz, and it was kind of difficult, as I'm sure all the participants here are...
Figure that out.
Yeah, they figured that out. I think a lot of people just gave up on the quiz, which, it's quite tricky. So
I mean... Yeah, I wouldn't blame them. Some of the answers are like so obscure, so hard to get.
All right.
Yeah, I actually remember.
Easy, to be honest.
I remember when you initially thought, yeah, we'll just give this quiz to the standard players. They'll be able to play this, right? And then you gave it to people during this year's OWC, and no one really wanted to play it because it was so hard.
Well,
players had other things to do, like playing the game.
That's true. We also had what was it? We had people. I'm trying to think. Like they were busy playing the game. Yeah, like you said. They had a tournament to play.
Yeah. You didn't really. You had to actually put a lot of time into this trivia, I think, in order to get most of the points right. So it's understandable that some of the players didn't really have the time for it, especially those teams that came up, like that went through the bracket stage quite long into like semi-finals and so on. They just were so focused on the tournament that it was pretty hard for them to keep up with. But I think nonetheless, most teams already gave a glance at the quiz and they were like, okay, this looks already incredibly hard. Maybe they were expecting to get 15 questions out of the gates. And this quiz was not that type of quiz at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the big issue with it for the standard players was that it was kind of evenly split. Maybe there's the most standard questions, but you need a lot of very in-depth knowledge about Mania and Catch the Bean and all these other game modes, which quite frankly a lot of standard players and vice versa, other Catch the Bean players, etc., don't really do or have.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For this quiz,
it forced people interaction, which is good. But
so
nobody wanted to do that.
That was the primary aim of this quiz, actually, which was to get people to talk to other people and just interact with other people across the community. Because currently I feel like, all the game modes are kind of like isolated, like islands. You have Os, which is like the mainland, and then you have 3 tiny islands, which are like Taiko, Catch, and Mania. And I feel like there's very little communication in between. I first realized this actually when I asked like just a standard player to just name 5 Catch players or like name 5 Taiko players, and they couldn't even like name 2, and I was like, come on, man, like, So this
gone and I'm gone.
So yeah, the purpose
That's all I got.
so the purpose of this quiz was to encourage people to talk to each other, and I think it succeeded on that front. So
Yeah.
Yeah, Juan had a lot of DMs. Yep.
Nice.
So yeah, just a quick summary of the quiz. We got 50 questions, 5 difficulties, easy to extra. Totally not inspired by the OS difficulty naming convention. And then every answer, you needed more than just the answer. You also needed to explain or some sort of evidence how you got to the answer, because guessing wasn't within the spirit of the quiz. You needed to do sort of research or sort of talk with people or have some kind of reasoning to get get the answer.
Yeah, the full credit.
Yeah. So one other interesting thing was that sufficiently well-reasoned answers would also be credited. So if you had... So the questions were written with only one answer in mind, but if you came up with another answer and you could sufficiently justify it, you also got credit. However, for today, we're just going to go through the intended answers, maybe make a few mentions here and there, but obviously because, the questions were written for a particular set of answers in mind, so we're just going to go through those. Is there anything else that we need to cover before we get started with
all the special thanks, I guess, for the people that contribute?
Yes, of course.
Oh,
so
that's on the next slide, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is a bit of a white lie I told at the beginning of the tournament. So I said that I was the only one who wrote the quiz, and obviously, that's not true. It would be crazy if I had that amount of knowledge. I had a few consultants, should I say, who gave the quiz a once-over and sort of fact-checked a few things. So most notably, Jai, Forz, Juan, Dave, okay, game mode specialists in their own right. Happy Stick was around a bit as well to help with a few bits and bobs. And I spoke to various members of the OS staff, so people like Peppy, Smoogie, so on and so forth. And then all the contributors, so mostly for question 10 and 30, which we will not reveal currently because that is actually the answer to one of the questions. So be sure to stick around for that. Right, without further ado, are we ready to go?
Yep.
I was born ready.
All right, easy. So that's questions 1 to 10, worth 1 point
Breezy.
each. Question 1. Identify all the commentators who casted the OWC 2015 Grand Finals Tiebreaker.
Oh, this was such an easy question. It was like the joke tier question, I think. Like, point and click, get the answer, I think.
Well, you think. Well, you say you think, but you were there, Juan, actually. So, oh no!
Oh, yeah, I was there.
Oh no!
So
the video's doing the thing. The video's doing the thing. I gotta reset this.
Just escape and go back into
Yeah,
it. I fixed this once already.
Yeah, it does fix it. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Okay, right. So we're gonna watch this and understand why this was a difficult question. So.
Oh, there's Art from the chat as well, who was around for this actual tiebreaker. This was such a big moment as well for the World Cup histories in general. I think this was when the game actually started to seriously pick up in terms of like tournament popularity and whatnot. So it's a very important moment in history, very memorable moment of OS in general as a game.
Yeah, and we had a 17K.
On the start. You have C-Shot, for example. People like very old people as well.
We had like 17K viewers or something for this stream. This was 5 years ago, and we only recently beat that milestone in this year's Grand Final, I think.
Who would have thought a month and a half ago when we started this that it would all end here?
It was actually it was standing as the moment where we had the most amount of viewers on Twitch. for sure, until this last grand final.
Yeah.
And you can hear that like Citra was talking at the beginning. At some point, I think Zack also glitches out in part of the song too, which was pretty funny. Then you have Arv just like talking a lot about most of the USA. This was a pretty US biased commentary, I'll say that much, but it was fine. Like nobody really expected the US to do, like to actually win it, considering the Titans that the Chinese team were back then. And of course you had like Deep, Deadbeat, GP, who actually joined this map only. Like he didn't cast the final, like the grand final, as far as I remember. He just literally joined for this particular map.
Yeah, that was the weirdest thing of the entire thing, where just Chippy randomly appeared, like, out of nowhere.
Yeah, he just randomly spawned. There was like all the commenters available just like straight jumped into the voice channel and be like, hey, I cannot miss this. So essentially almost all the commentators that were around at that point, which was very late actually. This was like 4 UDC, I think it was very late match. So, and yeah, everyone was just losing their minds. It was such a hilarious moment. Toy almost failed at some point. If we watch the whole video, I don't know if we will.
I remember.
You see that I'm like shouting all the time. Toy failed.
Yeah,
like,
Juan, I remember when you were like talking about Rustbell, what are you doing? And then you just cast Rustbell. That's great.
I actually cursed Rustbell on this match, and I'm so proud of it. I'm sorry, Rustbell.
There it is. Yeah. Anyway, we're not gonna watch the entire video, but the idea is, you know, it was kind of a mess. Like we had 6 people jump into a voice call, and then everyone started casting the thing, and we don't do that anymore. I think the most we do have is a tri-cast these days.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anymore, and it
just about as much as we do nowadays.
Yeah, you can't fit too many people into the booth. So, and that's question 1. So, Arf, Chippy, Deadbeat, Juan, Zack, and Ztrot are formerly being known as R Fandomization. So, there's a bit of a name change there. All right. Question 2. What job was Peppy working when he was inspired to make OS? So the answer is he used to work at a convenience store or a supermarket or anything of the sort. And we've got a video here which is the evidence of him saying so. So just listen carefully.
Guess where the whole idea of us started. I used to play in my lunch hours. I was working at a supermarket at the time. I used to hear songs on the radio, and I could just see the beatmaps in my head, and I wanted to make them. So
yeah, there we go. So when he had the inspiration to make OS, he was on his lunch break on his NDS playing OS, the original.
Yep. I mean, honestly, if you have to make a guess on this question, I'll say you will most likely say this, I think. Considering that Peppy, I don't believe, has some major like programming work before OS happened. That might just be me. I'm not like fully aware.
I think
usually we all start or stuff like that, I think.
I think he worked at a ebook distribution thing.
Yeah, at some point I'm pretty sure he did, yes.
Yeah. So
we essentially have the whole personal life of Peppy figured out right now. I'm doing this quiz.
All right, so
poor Peppy.
Yeah, rapidly moving on. We have this question. Question 3: describe 2 ways OS taiko is. I didn't like this question, to be honest. I thought it was a bit too wordy, but I mean that's hindsight, right? So this one's quite interesting though. I felt like the question could be phrased better, even though I spent ages trying to phrase it. So the correct answer, any 2 of incomplete spinners. The map HP is less than 3.7, and if the finishers get hit incorrectly, so within the 30 milliseconds window, but not within the frame window. So I'll explain. So I got videos. So here's the first video explaining if you don't hit spinners, they drain health, which is not a well-known fact, but because normally there's only 1 spinner, but if you spam spinners, as you saw, like the health drains very quickly. Yeah, okay, so not a well-known fact, but you don't get misses if even though you don't complete an object, so that's quite interesting. That's kind of unique to taiko. Here's an interesting one, a bug that I discovered actually some years ago when trying to pass an 11-star map in taiko. It turns out that on low HP, you get less HP for hitting accurately than, like, for hitting 300s than 150s. So here we can see I'm hitting perfect accuracy, so SS, at HP 0, and it's taking about roughly 300 notes to get max HP. Okay, about 300 objects, and then if we do it again, this is the same map, but hit with low accuracy, you'll find that the HP gain is much quicker, which is a very interesting bug. So I only have to hit 100 notes. This bug has been reported like a few times already, and I don't know why it's not fixed yet. I think there's something about it'll be fixed in laser. So it seems to be a common theme that we hear.
Yes.
It's probably like it's actually a math thing. I'm pretty sure the algorithm that calculates the HP gain based on the HP probably has a point where the HP of hitting a bad judgment is like gaining you more for some weird reason. I think it's a fixed amount that you get if you hit a 300.
Yes.
But this,
yeah.
like the 100s is getting calculated based on the HP, which makes it that at some point it just overruns the amount of HP you get at 300s.
So yeah,
which is funny.
It's weird. It sort of at HP 3.7, it sort of both are equal, and then after rarely do you see maps with HP less than 3.7. It's just weird that having bad accuracy rewards you more, so that's quite interesting. And finally, we have the finisher bug, which is when you hit finishers perfectly. So like auto, I'll just use auto here. You can see each finisher gives you a third of health, but if you hit finishers not perfectly, so slightly offset, you actually get double health, which is quite interesting. If I pause here, you can see it treats it as 2 objects and you get double the health, which is a neat trick you can use. If a map has lots of finishers, you can just hit them like as doublets and you get double the health, which is really broken. So yeah. Weird.
And you think standard HP system is broken, but yeah, I mean...
I'd say standard. I'd say standard is pretty broken.
I mean, it's also kind of weird. I mean, these are like edge
match.
cases. They should be fixable, like, quite easily, isn't it?
I don't think so, actually. I really don't think so. For this finisher one, for example, the HP one is definitely a very easy fix. You just, like, either
just make
stop
sure the
making it
calculations
a
are fine.
hard
Just change the
code
formula.
300 HP game. Yeah, you could change the formula. For the other one, I don't think so, because there are 2 different hits, which is probably something that might consume too much CPU, I think, if you do that calculation, so it's probably not worth it. But anyways,
all right,
let's go to question number 4.
Forrest, you want to take this one? I think you were around when this happened.
Oh, yeah, this one. This one's a spicy one. 1 second. All right. Question number 4 is a wonderful standards classic here. It identified a rank map that infamously had an error in PP calculation, the subsequent spread of which led to widespread action and several disabled accounts. So the answer is pendulum watercolor. It's, I think, an answer everyone should know, or at least people who are somewhat active in the standard community. Mostly because a lot of like top players have shined a lot of lights on this one. Like, for example, Azer actually had his user page disabled for like years or something because of having this picture on his profile page. That's pretty funny. And there's a lot of just weird stuff happening. And I think it was about the hard version about it, or the insane, and the top diff actually in terms of difficulty got calculated for the lower diff. So it's kind of screwy. So you get PP if you DT the lower diff as if you played the top diff, and the top diff is just a lot harder.
Actually, I think from my research at least, I think it was because this was the first map to be ranked when the SR system changed, I think. So it was back in the day when Freedom Dive was considered to be 5-star or something, and then so this map was considered... It had new SR, but was calculating using the old SR conversion method. So the game thought it was as hard as Freedom Dive, but it wasn't.
Yes.
So it was actually like
that is true.
Yeah.
And that was really hilarious too. Also, I think this is a pretty long map, so it even bumped more PP because length, I think, was a pretty important factor for PP back then.
Funny.
I mean, back then the PP system was more akin to the TP one, so length is definitely a huge factor there.
Funny thing that happened was when I first released this quiz, we had Willie released a video of it like 3 days before the scheduled release day of the quiz, and I was so mad. Funny. I was so mad. I'm like, no one talked about this for like 5 years, and then like 3 days before the quiz, like this guy, random YouTuber, decides to release a video about it, and I'm like, it made this question so much easier.
You all viewers, like, this happens so often as well. Like, you'll see on future answers that for some reason, like a week before the quiz started, everyone was just talking about so many different answers for questions we wanted to use, and we were like, what? How? Why?
I mean, maybe if you take a look for this type of stuff and the content, maybe I don't know, it's pretty weird. It's weird timing, and maybe just because we're looking for it actively that we noticed that.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, this one is funny. This one is actually very funny.
Yeah. Jai actually really liked the wording of this. So when was a circle not a circle? I think everyone got this one. So when it was a square, that's the answer. I'm surprised no one answered when it was a square. They actually gave me a date, but the question was a pun on, you know, when is a door not a door? What is a jar, right? So, you know, when was a circle not a circle? When is a square? So there's a very famous Reddit thread, and there's a video. Oh, it plays twice, but there's a video of this here, so you can see early builds of laser where you can hit the corner of a circle. If you hit the corner of a circle, which doesn't make any sense, but you can actually register a hit. That's
Imagine actually having to aim a note.
Wonderful.
Actually hilarious.
I remember top players saying, wow, laser feels so much better than standard. And they just played on fucking higher CS. And I just had to laugh after seeing this hitbox error. Yeah. Like everyone says, laser feels so much better to play than standard.
Honestly, it really does feel a lot better. It plays so much smoother, the laser version in all modes. So I'm really looking forward for it to ever be released at some point. Hopefully, pray.
What are you talking about? It is released. It is released. What are you talking about?
I mean, final version. That's what I mean.
Look, the moment when we like mandate every player in the OWC to play on laser, I think that's realistically when things like when lasers
2029-ish.
yeah.
I don't know.
Cynthia.
Someday. It's fine.
All right. Let's get to question number 6, which I believe this is a very interesting question, right? This was the one that nobody got right.
No, that's not true. That's a different question.
Oh, that's not true?
That's question 7.
Different question.
So the answer to this one is video games. It's just, I mean, before the client chat had CTB or Taiko, we had hashtag video games. And there's just some evidence in some old forum threads, people talking about how other game modes would just hang around in video games when they didn't have their own channel. You know what I find funny is that it's still called CTV, even though it's called OS Catch now.
Yeah, it's actually OS Catch now. Yeah, that's actually funny.
It's been OS Catch for like 5 years now.
I think we should like rename it to hashtag catch at some point, but I mean it never happened. I think I can actually suggest that change to be a thing, and it would probably be very easy to implement. I might do it. I'm not sure.
Maybe in 2029.
Triv quiz changing history
with laser.
Yeah, it comes with laser. That's an added bonus for Catch the Beat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. These, I think we can skip ahead of these. So, this one's the one that no one got right because no one could read the question.
How did nobody got this one right? I don't believe it.
Okay,
I seriously do not believe it.
So this is a relatively recent event. So it happened during TWC 2020. I was actually casting it while it happened, even though it wasn't streamed. But I was casting when this actually happened. And it was surprising. We had 2 very close scores within an hour of each other. One was China-Taiwan, which was 7-point difference, and there was Singapore-Switzerland, which was 2-point difference, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you
In
gonna say?
CWC, we had a difference of 4 points. I think it was an Indonesian match, as someone is pointing on the chat. But this one was just ridiculous. At some point, we also had some answers submitted, which were the 1 point difference between Hong Kong and who was it?
Taiwan.
On Taiko World Cup.
Yeah.
And Taiwan, like you said, which I was casting with Happy Stick, and we were both like, wait. And everyone got a double S, but it was just a certain bug that it's kind of a spoiler for a future question. We get to that later. But that was not the right answer because the match was considered a draw. This though, it was actually legit 2 point difference, which is mind blowing.
Yeah. So it does say which match had a point decided by the smallest score. So in the 1 point difference in the Hong Kong and Taiwan, it was ruled as a draw, so it didn't count.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, no one got the intended answer for this one. Juan, you want to take this one?
I'm shocked. Wait, nobody got this one?
No. People actually went an interesting route. So because they went beat mapping World Cup, which I thought was really cool, so I gave them credit for it because I completely forgot beat mapping World Cup exists, which is technically a World Cup. And
that was actually this year that I think it started to be a thing. So
I think it was last
it
year.
technically counts.
Yeah. So we had
I
answers
think
like
officially it has been this year, but it doesn't really matter. The answer for this, I have to be. I'm pretty shameful about this, but this is something that happened because of me in a Mania World Cup. It was Macau. You'll see the clip now.
All right. So let's just play itself. Yeah.
Actually, it's really cool that Macau was the first one. I think it's the only.
Essentially, yeah.
It's from Africa, right?
Oh, we missed it. Juan, shut up. We didn't hear you.
It's really cool that Macau was the first one.
I'm sorry.
I think it's the only team from. It's from Africa, right?
I don't want to be ashamed.
Macau is a part of China.
Oh,
It's like
whoops.
Hong Kong.
Whoops! I didn't say
Having
anything.
having a comparable state to Hong Kong.
Yeah. So well done, Juan. Geography
good
on
job,
point.
mate. I mean, I saw a green flag and I was like, hey, this looks like Africa, right? And I was like, no, that's on China. I'm like, wait, that's close to China. I'm like, wait. Oops.
Yeah.
Hence why African is in quotation marks. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the main reason. I got spammed with a lot of like geography videos afterwards by many different people. I think there was a TV series as well where they joke about all the countries and they send it to me. But anyways, this
9.
one is also pretty funny.
Yeah. Question 9: which Oceania
Question
player damaged 2 keyboards over joke? So the joke is in reference to Jai's 1 key event, which was a 1v1 1 key mania tournament, and Jakad's apparently broke 2 keyboards during this tournament. So the story is he broke his own custom controller, and then so he moved on to his regular keyboard, but then he broke the spacebar on that as well, so he stole his sister's keyboard as well, and then he won the tournament, but he had to sacrifice 2 keyboards.
Well, I mean, it costed him 2 keyboards, unfortunately.
Yeah.
This was an easy question, I think, for the most part.
I thought it was going to be the
main
hardest
trick
question.
Was to get... Well, yeah, you just have to get the joke reference, right? Because this is actually like a joke tournament, but it's a legit called joke. So you could do joke tournament and you will get the answer pretty easily.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh, spoilers, I clicked twice. Oops. Well, we can listen to Drop Pop Candy covered by Moof and Thievley.
Now falling to her side.
I think it was really easy, this question.
Their head starting to sink. This boredom is too hard to fight.
It's a nice song. I think it was quite easy. Moof's voice is... I thought the answers were quite funny, I'll say that much, because we had a bunch of people who said Moof was Will Stetson. I'm like, is Will Stetson the only male...
God.
Is he the only male singer you know? And then we had people thinking Thievley was Namarin. And I'm like, Namarin didn't even participate in O's Idol. Like, where are you getting these people from? There were only like a handful of people.
I think Thievley one was the most obvious for me, at least. But the other ones I wouldn't get because I'm not really familiar with O's Idol that much.
Same.
Yeah.
But you can definitely get the finalists and like scratch them off.
Yeah,
as you hear through the songs.
There are not that many finalists, and we actually.
I was about to say.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
The finalist thing is probably the most, the biggest and the most helpful piece of information here, because it just narrows down the amount of people you have to check, and that way you can get the answer really quickly.
Yeah, so many thanks to Moof and Thievley for agreeing to cover this, and yeah, it's all good. I thought it was quite funny.
It was really brute force question, as someone is pointing out in the chat. You could just listen to all the finalist entries and then listen to this song, and you would probably get it.
All right, we're half an hour into the stream, and we're at normal, so we got to pick up the pace, I think. Otherwise, the stream's gonna last for 3 hours. So.
Oh boy.
Oh, this question. When did the helium run out? When did the helium run out? O's Coffee Hour 1. So about 30 minutes into the video. This question I was really worried about. Oh, wait. No, it's doing the thing again. Right.
No.
Okay, it's fixed now. Okay.
Hey, China versus USA tiebreaker. Let's go.
So let's have a look at here. So this is the first coffee hour, and according to Happy Stick, his during the interview, about half an hour in, they realized that Peppy's voice was pitched up by like 10% or something, which was kind of funny. So we're gonna show that right now. Hopefully the video will buffer.
The sample rate must be set incorrectly.
Eventually.
Sorry, ask that question again.
Okay, so we have Peppy, who, as we all know, has a fairly high-pitched voice, but here it's kind of quite extreme. So if we go later on in the video,
higher than usual.
Yeah, even higher than he's doing. He's secretly doing helium.
Mutually beneficial relationship.
All right, let's see if I can find
more like the coffee hour is like the helium hour.
If getting enough exposure, definitely contact me.
His voice here is fine.
Because we are looking to improve how much we, outwardly support these community efforts. For instance,
but if you go back, it's so obvious.
It was a pretty tricky question, I think. Like, you had to figure out what the helium thing means. I mean, the first thing I will think is Peppy's voice, because it's very high pitched, but then you have to know Peppy's voice beforehand. So
some people
if you don't know that, then it's a pretty tricky question.
Incorrect pitch.
It changes per mic. It's really funky.
That's a very high pitch.
That's it.
Yeah, so that was quite funny, I thought. This was actually a question I was worried that was Googleable, because if you just search helium run out OS, and then you just go to the second page, you could actually Google it. So, but no one did that apparently, so all good.
Good job, everyone. Oh my god, this is my favorite, I think, the next one. So this is what we were talking about when we said that the 1 point difference didn't actually count for that match between Hong Kong and I think it was Taiwan, as you mentioned, because of this single line of code of Mania that should have solved everything. In taiko, there's a bug, and I don't even know why.
We still don't know why.
Sometimes you get a V1 double S, well, actually a V2 double S rather, and you get not a million score, but a point of a million score, which also happens in Mania, and we don't know what. Like, we don't know why, but in Mania it never happens because nobody gets ever a million score points. But there is a line of code written by who was the one that coded the Mania? I forgot already the name.
Swiggy.
Wok, I think it was.
Wok? Oh, no.
Yeah, it was Wok, the one who coded Mania, and he had this line of code to fix that issue that he spotted, and this should just do justice. Like, we have to apply this on Taiko, really. It's such a simple fix.
Yeah, it's really silly, honestly. Like the amount of 999k SS or like 1,059,999 like with mod. It's ridiculous. It only happens in Taiko. Like, you don't see it anywhere else. It's so weird. Yeah. All right. I don't think either of you went to COE, did you?
Nope.
Well, so the answer to this one was BTMC, and we've got a video of him explaining
someone went into my bag or like took my G Fuel or some shit and sprinkled it all over my fucking face and my shirt and everything. But that's only one thing, okay? When I got up to like dust the shit off of my chest, dust G Fuel off of my chest, I felt something tugging on my back. And when I turned around, there was fucking gum stuck to the back of my shirt. I was sleeping on gum. And like, I was like, what the hell? How did this happen? I was like, wait a second. I didn't see the gum. I laid on it. My body heat raised up the temperature of the gum, liquefying it again, and it attached to my fucking shirt. And when I thought about this, alright, holy fuck.
That's a good story, I think. I think they were near, so yeah, they were on the grass somewhere, and then hot day. I think he had to wear someone else's hoodie for the day as well. You can ask Ed for clarifications on that detail. This question, I received a lot of different answers, but so there was one about Cookie Z getting his leg waxed, which I also accepted, and various other sticky situations, because let's be honest, at COE, like, a lot of things happened, so.
Oh yeah, we don't talk about those.
Forrest, you want to take this one? So in terms of date recording, yeah, what's the oldest?
Oh yeah, I mean this was an interesting piece of trivia. In terms of date recording, what is the oldest song for which there's a ranked OS map? The answer is Comedian Harmonist, Stille Nacht, Heilige Nacht. The thing is, there's also a different map which most people would probably think of, which is Perpetuum Mobile. Both I think are mapped by Bonsai. And Bonsai is an Austrian mapper who maps really old classical stuff there. And I would, on my first guess, I would have gone for Perpetuum Mobile, but it's actually Stille Nacht, Heilige Nacht. So if you've got that, well, good to you.
Yeah. This is also one of the questions.
What's the funniest thing?
Is the question.
This could be rigged. This is a question that could be rigged.
Oh yeah.
Right? You just map a song from prehistorical eras and rank it easy.
You know what? You know what's even funnier? This was the second question. So after Willie released the video about watercolor, literally the day after, someone puts a Reddit thread about what is the earliest, like, what is the oldest song for which it was ranked. He put the exact same question. I'm like, what the heck? Who is leaking my quiz? Like, what the heck? Like, and then Arf, of all people, like, he's in the chat right now, I'm pretty sure. Arf answers the fucking question correctly, and I'm like, dude, you can't just do that. So I'm pretty sure I had to get in touch with some other people to like blacklist his answer or something. Like I just set full on censorship mode, like, because like, dude, this is not okay. But thankfully this was the last of the leaks, I think. But yeah, that was great. Good times. Moving on.
Yeah, I think at some point the questions just become so obscure that no one really thinks of asking them, right?
Oh, how many people got this one right? The question 15.
No one got the intended answer, but a lot of people got full credit for saying the Burai slider.
Burai slider, yeah.
But,
okay, yeah, that's fair enough. The intended answer for this, though, was the P note, which is named after Pop Gadget, who discovered a very interesting mechanic for Mania, which is not rankable, neither usable in any sort of way, especially in Scorby 2, where it breaks itself. But you can have a node that has the LN release timing before the actual hit timing, which means that you have to release a node before you actually hit it, which of course doesn't really make sense, but it is actually playable. Like, if you hit the node very, very quickly because of the release timing window, you can actually hit a 300 on a node, like on a P node. And it was mostly intended to be used on Aspire-like things for the most part, but it never really got that much of an attention. I know there's all the things like J nodes for Jacats or stuff like that, and there are many weird experiments being tried out on Mania. The editor is very glitchable, and hopefully later is going to allow us to do these things without actually having to break the game, because these kind of mechanics are really funny.
Yeah, I allowed all the other mapping like the Stromboli sliders and all those the Burai slider, all those sort of things, because I mean technically they're mapping techniques, not really hit objects. I mean they are hit objects, but they're like a style of hit objects. But whereas the Pino is actually a hit object that has a name, so interesting. Right. Oh god, this question. No one got this. We had so many interesting answers though, ranging from eye surgery to what did we have? We got eye surgery, we've got hair transplants, we had what's his name? Maria had a surgery when she became Mari, but we're not sure on which part of the body. That was hilarious. But no, the answer is Yuzu. Okay, so the answer. Wait. Oh my god, I misread the question. Oh my god, I'm being stupid.
Wait. Yeah.
I misread the question. I'm talking.
Wait a second.
Yeah. Sorry. No.
Spoiler.
Spoiler. That's question 18. Okay, I'll talk more about that later. Oh my god, I'm being stupid. Well done, me.
That was great track team, guys.
Yeah, no okay, right. Yeah, the answer is the sky. This one. Fruits fall from the sky because of this. Oops. Well, question 18 is not that far away. I misread the question. Well done, me. I know my quiz.
Yeah,
I definitely.
It's fine.
Yeah. In the Japanese, so this is the old logo for the Catch the Beat special mode, and in the background in Japanese, it's translated to "Fruits from the sky are falling." G. So, canonically, the sky. Yes. Oh, I guess you heard it here. The fruits fall from
Yuzu. More surgery things. I thought you were saying they were gonna say something, and I stopped talking, and now I feel weird because of silence.
No. Carry on. What were you gonna say?
No, about next question. So
next question. Yeah, next question. Okay.
The next question I think is the one that I got asked the most about, which is question 17. I actually never gave the answer because I was part of the quiz and I didn't really want to give the answer of a question I actually knew extremely well the answer, which was Aussie Ozrock. Well, not the map, but rather the commentator who got banned. This happened back in TWC, I think 2013, if I recall correctly, or Taiko World Cup number 3, where he was singing a song and Locked didn't really like it too much. So the guy was never gonna commentate ever again. I wouldn't mind him commentating again. So it's not like a permanent ban, but it was as close as it can get for a permanent ban back then.
Yeah.
And there was a map of the thing he was singing back then, which is Tenshi Taki Kenpo Yoncho. And yeah, that's the story.
We can listen.
That's a good background.
30 minutes.
30 minutes?
We can listen to 30 seconds of Ozzy singing.
Yeah.
Okay.
This song is brought to you by the United States and the Obama Foundation.
Good map.
It used to be 63 stars. With the new SR rework, it's 9 stars, I think.
Good map.
And keep in mind, this was 3 years after his singing, which has improved greatly.
Mango, I'm trying to enjoy him singing here. You keep talking.
I'm sorry.
My experience.
Look, this presentation can be available for download after the thing. So if you do want to listen to it in full glory, you could just visit the map or just watch it later. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Great. This question, which I thought was question 16. Oops. But yeah, so we got a lot of interesting answers. But the correct answer is Yuzu on his left hand. If you look closely at Yuzu's original artwork, if you look at his hand, you notice that his left hand there's something wrong with his left hand. It's not a left hand, it's a right hand. You have to look very carefully. He's got 2 right hands. Thanks, Citrot.
Do you know this is Citrot's fault? Yeah, I was about to say. Citrot mentioned this to me at some point where I was like joining the casting team, and he was like, "I'm so dumb. I'm so confused why nobody's complaining about this. Nobody notices this, and I see this drawing. I'm like, bruh, there's something wrong with this. There's something very wrong with this." Hands is such a hard thing to do when you draw.
Originally, this question was in Insane, I think, but we nerfed it a lot. And down to normal. Yeah.
Yeah, might have been pushed back to Insane, but I mean, imagine from all the Oath players watching Twitch streams with like hand cams, you'd think Oath players would be pretty good at spotting this kind of stuff, right? Looking at hands all days. Well, apparently not.
Yeah, so Yuzu got his rework in 2019, so yeah, he had surgery, probably. Definitely a transplant. Because you can't fix this. Commissioning. Fours, you definitely want to talk about this one.
Oh no.
I actually don't know a lot about this one.
Commission extraordinaire, though.
I mean, yeah, sure, but not this style of... Yeah.
None of us know anything about
That was actually fairly well known back then. This is like an old school thing, I think, though. Like C-Trot days. He used the map Searle a lot, which is the answer of this question, obviously.
Yeah, so the answer is Searle. He asked a guy to map stuff for him, and promote it. His mapper, I think it was called Swash or something, and he got the songs early and he mapped them and he released them at the same time as the YouTube premiere. So that's quite interesting. This was prior to him becoming a featured artist, though. So I don't know. I'm not entirely sure if he continued to do this after being a featured artist.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't anymore, but it was a thing back then.
Another example of this was that another acceptable answer was Vinxis, and Fours, I think you can talk a bit about Corsace. So Vinxis was also acceptable answer because Corsace
I mean, wait, was known to commission standard beatmaps to widen the... I don't think Vinxis commissioned standard beatmaps to widen the audience. I mean, I guess he maybe kind of mapped his own map or something, but it wasn't really a lot about Corsace. Corsace didn't really have his song in there. No?
I mean...
Not that I know of.
No, I mean, he commissioned standard beatmaps. I didn't say it had... The question never specified that it had to be about his own songs. So, you know, Vinxis was known to commission beatmaps for his tournament. No?
Commission beatmaps for his tournament? I mean, in Corsa, he just got mappers on board to like map stuff and make a pool in that way. I mean, I see what you mean. It wasn't really Vinxis. Half-Slash did all the work in the background, realistically, of like deciding on songs and stuff like that. Vinxis just like is the host and does like the website and oversees everything. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Well, error on my part then, but I don't think it changes the standings in any way, shape, or form. Oh God, this question! I love this question. This freaking question changed so much. It had so much impact. It's so prophetic. A couple teams got this right. Oh my God, we need to watch this. So yeah.
Time for a buggy video?
No, it's actually okay. So it's a video by Andres. Okay. So we're gonna watch the entire video because I think it's worth watching. It's the OWC 2020 Before movie.
Made in what, 2016 or something?
2015. So 5 years.
50, yeah.
5 years before OWC 2020. A lot of things happened since then, and many of them were actually correct.
A jet. The Ozu jet.
Hey guys, my name is Z-Trot and welcome back to the OWC 2020.
Alright, just...
Oh, this video predicted the Grand Final too, right? Holy...
Yeah, so
true,
Z-Trot was
right?
Z-Trot was actually the backup answer. Like, if some things didn't happen, we would have asked Z-Trot to commentate for Grand Finals for a minute or two, in case the thing didn't happen. So Z-Trot was actually literally downstairs. He was ready to jump right in and start casting for 2020. That was hilarious.
Oh yeah, during the Grand Finals, I was in the channel with C-Troll, talked to him for a second. Like, he was ready to go. He was
He
ready.
just went into the tournament channel and say, like, present the teams and then leave and laugh and call it a day. I don't know why he didn't do it.
I am cute grill. I want to touch more of you.
Citra is an anime girl.
It's time for the final 1v1.
Grand Finals, OWC, who is it?
Our first competitor is...
This is so good. Like, I'm shocked about how hilarious this prediction was. How accurate it
for
was.
the American team. And our second competitor is...
I love the explosions.
Logtip is competing for the German team.
In case you got a memory of a goldfish, OWC 2020, the Grand Finals match, was US versus Germany, which this video successfully predicted. Like, oh my god, what the heck.
The worst part is that we didn't even predict that to be the answer. It just so happened to also be part of the answer as the tournament went through.
No. This was
then also the warm-up skip.
We'll get to that. Another acceptable answer, actually, yeah, we'll carry on.
Oh, das sieht aber nicht gut aus. Locktaf, was wirst du tun?
Ich werde krass Knorke abgehen, mein Junge.
We should have played that as a warm-up, even though...
Oh, warm-ups? We asked warm-ups, right?
Yeah.
Seems like we have technical difficulties. We will be back after this short commercial break.
I can't believe this was 5 years ago and he predicted everything so well.
He is masculine. But there's always this pesky shirt he's wearing.
One of the acceptable answers was if Azer decided to strip during OWC, this would have also been an acceptable answer. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Oh, wait, no, go.
Azer actually was supposed to commentate the Grand Finals, but he didn't show up in time. That's why I think Tick and Chili Pear kind of took over, like Doomsday or something. I don't remember now, but Azer would actually have been able to strip during the show, during the Grand Final.
All right, and this is my favorite part of the video.
All right, guys. The staff decided to skip the warm-ups and jump right into the first match.
We did not do this on purpose.
Since Avery rolled 420.
Oh my god. The staff decided to skip the warm-ups. Actually, when we had this lengthy discussion, I think Fours was quite on the fence about whether or not to skip warm-ups, but back then he was already in on the quiz, so I sent him this video, and it was like, the staffs decided to skip the warm-ups, and then Fours instantly like, we gotta axe warm-ups, we gotta ban the warm-up.
There was actually a very legit discussion between having or not the warm-ups, and we were already at that point very convinced that warm-ups should be axed. But then we saw this video and we were like, okay, we just have to. This is just destiny. It just has to be.
Yeah, it has to happen.
I mean, there has to be an asterisk. Yeah. I didn't single-handedly decide whether or not we X warm-ups or not. It's just
it was a team fight. We all discussed about it. Yeah. Everyone involved in the tournament community on the World Cups server.
Oops.
We all discussed it, and we came to the conclusion saying, okay, axe warm-ups. And then we saw this video and we're like, yes, we have
it has to be. Yeah,
it has to be done.
He can pick a
my opinion might have been influenced, but yeah, it was the entire team, not
anyway.
Let's see it any differently.
Yeah. All right.
And Joke decided on this.
Good shit. That's some good shit right there. Well,
let's get to the next question. I think at this point we kind of covered all the possible answers. I think.
Well, if Germany had actually won this year, it would have been another acceptable answer. Although,
yeah, I should have rigged the tiebreaker a bit more for Germany. Unlucky, my fault. Sorry, Mango. I'll let you down.
Anyway, that was one of my favorite questions. Question 20 was hilarious. You could have answered anything, and you would probably got the point. So much. That video was so prophetic. Honestly, it's crazy. All right, hard questions. This is where questions start getting a bit tricky. And teams start to struggle a bit at this stage. So question 21. This question. So in which community tournament could you get over a trillion score on a single map but still lose anyway? I think only 2 teams were able to get this correct. And the answer is the OS Taiko Japanese Tournament 800K edition. Now, that's in Japanese, and I'm sure none of us can read that, or most of us can't read that. But this is an interesting tournament, which was introduced in about 2017. So this was after Taiko Score V2 was created. And the goal was to get a score as close to 800K as possible, because the score cap was 1 million, thanks to Score V2. So let's get as close to 800K as possible without going under. So you want to get like 800,001, 800,002 or something, okay? Any score that was below 800K would instantly be treated as 5,000 trillion, according to this rule set. And it was treated like par. So it was treated like golf, like it's par score. So the team with the lowest score across the tournament or something would win. So that was a really cool concept, I thought. And it was hilarious. There are also a lot of other interesting tournaments that I discovered while researching this quiz, but and people submitted some answers that were quite funny as well. We had this team who said the OS sit-ups tournament, which apparently, like, you get a point every sit-up you do on camera, and I'm like, good luck doing 1 trillion sit-ups like on a camera. That'd take you like 30,000 years, but like, I mean, like, go for it. Like, sure. Honestly, this question is great. All right, moving on. Oh God. This question. Question 22. Where did 2 popular O streams cross swords? No one got this answer. Not even close. I'll let the video do the talking.
Yeah. Cookie was in the bathroom. He was still, like, throwing up. And we were like, we don't want to bother him. But Wolf and I both really had to go to the bathroom. So what we did was we went to the fucking bathtub. And I don't think Ref knew, even though he was, like, across the, like, in the same room. Like, in the other room. But Wolf and I, like, both just simultaneously peed into the bathtub. And he was just, like, looking, he was like, Toy, don't look. And I was like, oh my god. Why is this happening?
I think that clip sums up essentially the spirit of this question. I will admit, this question was written in a way that was very bait. We tried to bait people, you know, the crossing swords about... What map is it? I don't know what the map is called. The Raise My Sword or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it was written in reference to this this event, which was actually very funny, I thought. What are your thoughts?
It is pretty funny, to be honest.
That's the most Wolf thing I've heard all my life.
Oh yeah, that's true. It just has to be Wolf.
It couldn't have been done with any other person than Wolf, to be honest. Like, when you know Wolf, when you know Bartek, this is the type of shit he does. This is Wolf. This is quintessentially Wolf. And it don't look just... That's him.
Yeah. Yaka 2017, yeah. That's China meetup. Very interesting. It's the... it's like the COE 0 almost, but yeah. All right.
Oh, next question is one of my favorite ones.
No one got the intended answer.
I'm actually sad. Yeah, nobody got the intended answer. I'm sad about that. This is a question we have been memeing about in the Mania community for a while. I'm not sure if it was listed as a Mania question, so that wasn't a hint you guys got. But the Battle of the Processes took place at Soft number 3, 2018. Pretty interesting fight between Japanese player Interlizer and Japanese player AMD Askia 1996, who both got actually second place on this Mania World Cup 2020 for Key 1. And yeah, that was such a fight we were all waiting to see. Like, 2 extremely good players who actually faced against each other on group stage. And it was so good. Like, Intel against AMD. We were all hyping this matchup so harshly. And we were so happy that it actually happened. It was a very intense fight. And I think most people who were, like, in touch with the Mania community, you tell them this question, they will instantly think about Intel and AMD. They might not know the exact answer, but they will definitely know it's referring to 2 players.
Yeah.
And they have extremely high accuracy players. They are extremely high accuracy players, and it's actually very funny because they are both CPUs. We always meme about that because they're so good. Oh, it was very intense. You see 4-1 on the scoreline, but the maps were decided by like 100, 200 points. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. Intel won in 2018.
Intel won.
Yeah, Intel won in 2018.
won in 2020.
Yeah, I hear AMD's doing better these days. All right.
Yep.
This question. This was very interesting. The answer to this one was the Bing map from Aspire, so the Solace of Oblivion. Force, were you casting for Aspire? I can't remember.
No, I wasn't. I was not involved with Aspire.
Right. But in this map, there's a very peculiar bug that happens where essentially it was discovered by Milior, and essentially there is a lag spike or something, and by plugging in headphones and unplugging it, it would reset a thing, and it would allow you to maintain combo, because like it was the... Oh, sorry, I should specify, it's a cache to beat convert. So the cache to beat convert of this standard Aspire map, and there were like these massive stacks of fruits, which were like 500 fruits, and it would lag the game, but if you unplug the headphone or something, like it would skip the lag or something, and then it would allow you to catch a fruit without lagging, and then you could get a high combo. And as we know, catch, you get score by having high combo. And then, yeah, the rest is history. If you look at the leaderboards, ask anyone on the leaderboards, you have to use the headphone method.
Yep. In fact, most of the lag issues that the OSU client has normally is due to sound, actually. Like when you have sound overloads or something like that, the game just lags like crazy. So it makes sense that when you have a bunch of hit sounds running at the same time with the song in the background, it just breaks. And if you don't have any sort of audio plugged into it, then it works. So that's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, you think back to all the memes people post online, the Mirami method, the Itki method, the Vexay method. Well, this is the headphone method. This is probably one of the OG ones, which is actually something you can do, and it's a strategy you can use.
Yeah, but none of us catch fruit anyway, so okay, moving on.
I mean, yeah, who plays catch?
CTV. Which former global rank 1 player held a world record for speedrun category in a Sonic game? This question was really annoying because I wrote this before he lost the world record, and then, you know what, I had to change the question. So he only lost the world record recently. I had to periodically check all the questions because, as mentioned previously, I spent a period of 7 months writing this quiz. So the answer is Sabatsu, and the Sonic game was Sonic Unleashed, and the category was all day stages. And we'll just have a look at a bit of his speedrun. It's kind of ridiculous, to be honest. Just skip to a random place. So Sabatsu is known in the taiko community for being a hard rock player, supersonic player, which is kind of fitting.
Ready? Go!
I mean, OS players being good at speedruns. Who would have thought?
I mean, I'm not surprised he plays HR.
Nice.
The fact that you can be on number 1 on 2 completely different games is crazy. Gotta go fast.
Yeah, this is the actual gotta go fast, true legit version.
Was Sonic Unleashed like a really bad Sonic game?
Was that Sonic 2006?
There was one Sonic game which just got memed the shit out of it because it was
Sonic
so
2006,
bad.
I think. I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it's a different one.
Yeah.
It's that one, yeah.
But
next question is also hilarious.
Oh, oh boy.
It's pretty recent as well.
I might have been involved here a little bit.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
you know what's the funniest part about this? It actually got asked a lot to me. And I was like, how is people not getting this? How is people not getting this?
How is a World Cup staff member restricted twice in 72 hours for trying to do the job? So, you know, being a map pooler, you need a lot of maps, right? And there's a cool site out there which is called osearch.com, which is a better search engine essentially, where you actually can search ranges of CS and star rating. And there's a download all button on that website. And if you scroll a lot and you press the download all button, you download all the maps you see. And Kano downloaded a lot of maps. And apparently there is a limit of 500 maps in an hour, and then you get auto-restricted. We didn't know, we learned it the hard way. We didn't know initially how many maps it was. So Kano got restricted, and we're like, okay, how many maps did you download? We don't know. So we started counting. And when we started counting, we noticed, all right, got like 480 maps in like 50 minutes. Seems fine, no problems. And then we went to the 500 map mark, and Kano got restricted twice. And that's how we knew it was 500 maps.
Meaning he got restricted 3 times, like.
No, he got restricted twice. He got restricted twice. Yeah.
I present to you a short movie in 3 pictures. the peppy energy, the sort of the intimidation here. That was great.
Yeah, this was in the OS internal staff thingy for DVC, and everyone was able to see it. That was pretty funny, not gonna lie.
Alright, rapidly moving on.
This question is really good too.
Yeah.
Nobody got this one right either, right? The next one, the 27.
No one got full credit. So I need to explain this one. So I admit the phrasing was not the best, but the idea behind this question. The answer is Rampage 88 for reaching level 110. Someone got 2 out of 3 on this because they had the idea, but they just didn't know who the player was. So back in 2017, late 2017, Rampage achieved level 110, and that had a lot of bugs. He was unable to submit scores. He couldn't see his rank or be spectated. And Peppy, he reported this, and Peppy submitted he fixed the submit scores part of the bug. But it wasn't until 2019 when WilchQ got level 110 that the rest of the problems were fixed. So during the period between late 2017 and 2019, Rampage was unspectatable. He could not be spectated. Like, you literally could not spectate him. Even though he was like submitting scores and stuff. So it was really annoying for a lot of catch tournaments because he's really good. Like, he's number 1 on score ranking. Like, he's the highest leveled player on OS, right? And he just would not show up in tournaments, which was really annoying because, tournaments, you gotta, see all the players and all that. So yeah, this was an interesting occurrence. All right, moving on. Oh, this was too easy. This was way too easy. Everyone got this one. Question. Yeah, the answer is Polaris. He's the guy.
Welcome to OS.
And see you next time.
See you next time.
Interesting answer I got. Someone said it was the roll tournament where you exclamation mark roll, and he did it 7 times. I don't think that was badged. I don't think, and so that was an interesting approach, though, for sure. All right, question 29. What is the source of the OS logo used in the YouTube video tags? The answer is RBRAT3. Okay, this is the OS logo. And there's actually quite a nice story about this. So according to RBRAT, YouTube apparently spidered this image from their Facebook page, the OS Facebook page, without asking or anything. So it's the models on Sketchfab, but they spidered the image from Facebook, and they never asked for permission or anything. They just, that's OS. We're taking that. This is ours now.
Epic.
The most expensive question.
This one is cool.
The most expensive question on the quiz, costing me over $100 out of pocket. But I love this question, honestly.
I think it's probably I don't know, feeling of the trivia quiz. I think to like get to talk to more people, showcase some people as well.
Yeah, I feel like
So I'm
artists
liking
are
this question a lot.
really underappreciated. Artists are underappreciated. I think people just sort of simp on top players these days, but you know, there's a lot of talent. Playing the game well is not the only way that you can be talented, I think. And I love art, like, you know, the artwork, and they do a lot for the community. Without further ado, the first image, okay, from question 30, it is by Nafi. Okay, now this one was a tricky one. This is probably the trickiest one because Nafi actually never submitted anything of this sort in the in the fan art contest. So the seasonal fan art contest, she never actually submitted anything of the sort. And the way you could get this was that if you look at the new OS tutorial, she actually drew the sprites for Peppy in that. And I hate to point it out, but if you look at the crotch area, like the design is quite similar. If you just look at this general area, like it's quite obvious that they were drawn by the same person. So yeah. Okay. Anyway, rapidly moving on.
Mango's getting reported.
Really? It's the actual body part. So, okay, right. This is the second one. This is by 157. Okay, and this was probably the easiest one, to be honest, because literally in winter 2019, she drew the exact same character. They are literally the same. They're wearing the same clothes.
The eyes are looking really similar, so that's one way you could definitely notice it.
Actually wearing the same clothing as well. It looks really good though. I really like the draws.
Yeah. And finally, this was there's actually a lot of backstory behind the image, but we won't have time to cover that. But apparently, volleyball match in Ariake Stadium in Japan or somewhere. You can Google that. We've got Peppy in the background supporting Peppy. This one was drawn by Snow Yanni, very talented OS artist who has drawn many famous pieces. One that comes to mind is the KyoAni tribute. All the characters, but I think the one that's most similar to this one would be this one, very similar in style. Although he himself says that his style is very inconsistent. Although I would say it's consistently good, if I could say that much about him. So yeah, we got Ephemeral in the corner here as well. Someone who's well-versed in OS memes. Actually, in the background here, you can't see him, it's blurred, but it's Mari and Manny, I think, as well. So there's a lot of little Easter eggs. You got Taikonator over here being a ref. Don't know if you noticed that. A lot of little interesting bits here and there. I really like this question. I hope you enjoyed this question. This is probably one of my favorite questions. Yeah. There were originally going to be 4 artists, 4 images, but one of the artists couldn't make it in time, so that's a bit unfortunate. If we ever do this again next year, we'll have a similar question. All right. Insane.
Just next year with commissioned songs and not with commissioned backgrounds, maybe. I mean, that's gonna be expensive.
All right. Last 20 questions. Jeez, Insane was a dumpster fire, to be honest. There were so many questions people didn't get because they were so obscure. Like, Insane was the extra of the tournament, to be honest. All right, without further ado, Insane. Questions 31 to 40 were 4 points each. Question 31. According to U68, what is more difficult than getting an FC on a 10-star map? And the answer, which only one team was able to get, was understanding Sorono's English. This is amazing, and his Twitter account's been deactivated or deleted, so you can't actually find it, but if you go to some old Discord servers, people posted it around. U68 himself said to understand Sorono's English is more difficult than to get FC on 10-star map. And if you don't know who Sorono is, this is what his modding looks like. Yeah, I don't understand that at all. Can you understand this, Juan? Forz?
No.
Yes.
This guy's a
guess
BN.
I will try to get it.
This guy's a
I'll try to
BN.
get the FC on the 10 star map.
To be honest, I feel his energy though. This is me like right at the end of map holding. I started turning into Vinx's, and this is kind of similar to Vinx's speech. So I'm feeling a bit at home here. Just a little bit though. I'm still kind of lost because he likes to spam some letters.
Right. U68 is also known for making some really funny tweets as well. So here's a collection of other legendary tweets from U68. I did my best, but it seems even half my best was not needed to win this thing called a tournament. This was in reference to LMS2 single player edition, where he just stomped the competition. And perhaps my favorite tweet of all time. This was in 2016 when he just got global rank 1, and people started sending him images. If you send me boobs pic, I kill you.
That is very funny. I have to say. I love you.
Being number 1 gets you a lot of attention. Sometimes a lot of unwanted attention. We used to like simp on U68. He was literally.
Stop saying that word. It's now not legal.
It's banned.
Is it?
Yes, it's literally not legal. Yes, it is.
Call it tier 3 subscriber.
Oh, I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Yeah, it's recent. Like it's like this week recent.
Oh.
I don't know why they did that, but it's not a thing you can do anymore.
Just call it what it is, tier 3 subscriber.
Okay, we used to follow U68 a lot. He was like the Cookie Z of Taiko, and then he was also mapping as well and all that sort of stuff. And yeah. Anyway, I didn't know. Look, I don't stream very often, and I stream once a year, like literally.
Nice.
Oh God.
All right, let's go to question 32 then.
Only one team got this one. This was obviously a bait question, but I did credit a lot of other acceptable answers. Which mouse player made significant contributions to the storyboarding community, as well as introduced new ways to play the game? The answer is Jerry. Okay, and you were like, who is this guy, right? Who is this guy? Or Nezumi Jerry. So Nezumi is Japanese for mouse or rat, so it's another trick question. Right, who is this guy? So he's famous for doing a lot of storyboard work. He made storyboard T-Rex game. Okay, so he did Chrome T-Rex game. He also did Bandori Playfield, I think. All storyboarded. Okay, but perhaps most famously, he is known for slapping a very interesting taiko controller on OS. So this is definitely a new way to enjoy the game.
What a legend.
Quality. So yeah, he's a mouse player because he's Nezumi Jerry. So I admit this was a bit of a bait, but honestly, it was too good not to phrase it this way.
Well, we were talking about not saying that word, but then you see this, I'm like, okay. Thinking.
This is a thing.
This is a thing that exists.
Oh, this is old.
You better export the VOD on YouTube or something before you get banned here.
Oh, yeah. All right. This one. So, which beatmap?
Oh, this one is so hard.
Yeah, no one got this one. But one person actually referred to this event. So, the answer to this one is this. And so Baby Cruising Love sang featuring Peppy, and you might be considering like, what? Like, how? This is really confusing. But there is an explanation. So we can play this just briefly. So if you don't know what the song is, this is Peppy singing a song. There's a rank map of this, I think.
Yep, there is. It also was played as a warm-up once.
My goodness.
How did the song even come into existence?
So we have
to sing this, upload it or some shit?
No. So I did the research for this, right? So the source of Peppy's voice, okay, is from he actually participated in OS Idol 2. Okay, so this was a pre-elimination round submission from Peppy in OS Idol 2, and someone probably overlaid this on this and made a map out of it, okay? Now, that's one event that happened. So Peppy was actually an OS Idol contestant, and in...
Oh, okay, that makes sense now. Oh my god.
OWC 3, I think... I don't actually know too much about this. You probably know more about this than I do, but this Dutch player apparently picked it as a warm-up or something?
Yeah, it was actually picked in the Netherlands match, I think. It might have actually been Gladiol.
It was Gladiol who picked it, and
yeah, and then getting yeah. Whoops.
And I think Peppy didn't like him very much, so he kicked him out of the lobby for picking that as a warm-up. And Gladiol is translated as
It's a very old school trivia, this though. Very old. Even before I started playing the game. So it's like really old. Like 8 years ago. 9 even.
Yeah. Totally understandable why no one would have got this one though. Totally understandable. Alright, Forrest.
Next question then.
Forrest, you can talk about this one.
Oh yeah. So this is once again a standard question. It's when did a bunch of bandana-wearing little fighters wage war against a team of mad scientists? It's referring to the gang wars back in the day, which is Elfsai Congru versus Bandit.
What is the gang war? What's a gang war?
It was essentially just, it's Scorby 1 days, right? So you don't really have like insane PP, so it's like everyone just plays for like number ones. That's what people did back in the day. And you had to know the players and the maps to check competition, because no one really did anything. You don't really have a PP system, like, I got a 1k PP on something. But yeah, this is the video about the Elfsai Congruous Bandit. It was just a team consisting of Polish people, then on the other side you have if you're H-Wig or Snow White, etc. It's like just a bunch of people coming together and like having a bit of fun, realistically. Nothing big really happened out of it. It was just a little bit of fun to like snipe scores, so like someone's score got sniped by someone from Bandits, and then another guy from Elfsai Congru responded by sniping their score.
Yeah, this question was answered by a lot of teams, and I think it was a bit easy. I think a lot of people got this one. So it was probably the easiest question in Insane. So yeah.
Yeah, and the little fighters thing refers to the Bandit avatar, which is
they have
it's a character from Little Fighters. So yeah, a bit of small fighting game.
And that's from Science Gate, right? Mad Scientists.
Yeah, Mad Scientists. Elfsai Congru refers to Mad Scientists. The Steins Gate anyway.
All right.
Oh, next question was so obscure as well. This is like all this thing I have seen mania-wise.
Even Juan didn't know about this, so...
I didn't know about it. I had my guesses, but I didn't know this tournament existed to begin with, which is the Japanese tournament, the Osamania Japanese tournament 2012, by the end of 2012, which I think nobody got any other thing that was earlier than this. This is the earliest we could find. I think it's the first instance we have seen a community tournament using the tournament client.
Yeah, in order.
I was expecting someone to prove us wrong on this, to be honest.
Yeah, but to add on that, this used to be an extra level question, which the question originally asked like whether you had to compare to prove that this tournament. In fact, if you go on YouTube, you can find the video of this, and that video is the earliest existing footage of the tournament client in use, and you had to prove it, because as said in this Peppy blog post, that it was used for OWC 3, and as well as this OMJT. So both were happening at the same time, but it turns out none of the VODs for OWC3 exist to this day that were uploaded before this. So this is actually the first instance of the tournament client being used of it where videos still exist to this day. And it was extra level because you had to prove that was the case, and you had to like compare timetables and stuff. And I was like, dude, this is way too much effort. And we decided to just bump it down to insane. But still, no one got it. So
yeah, at some point, I think of our tournaments that were streamed before this even, they didn't use a tournament client. They just replicated many different clients who just spectated, which was somewhat similar to what the tournament client is, but not quite.
There were earlier instances, but like you said, they weren't actually tournament clients because they were multiple clients. So it wasn't the tournament client. They just opened like 8 different clients to spectate something. So it wasn't the tournament client. I looked at the answers. You can actually see.
Yeah, and syncing was a big yikes for those.
Yeah. So this one was the first tournament client because it had inbuilt syncing as well as other features that. Well, yeah.
You used to be able to do that back then. You cannot do that anymore. Someone is asking on the chat. But back then, it was possible to do. It was 100% possible.
All right, moving on. I like this question. And I think a lot of competitors like this question as well.
God.
This took a while to make, but the answer is male or female. So what kind of alligators would be of interest to an onion host? Or any 2 genders. So male or female or any 2 genders. And the reason is it's about chat filters. So gender chat filters to alligator. And if you type bisexual in the chat, it filters to onions. So translated, the question asks, what kind of genders would a bisexual be interested in on OS? And the answer would be male or female or any, if we're being politically correct here, then any 2 genders, if you will, because
this is a very clever question. I really liked it.
I remember talking to you about this question in detail for a longer time, Mango, and a different like an alternative version of this, which might have been a bit too easy, was what's the beginning of a fine lady, a willy, and a happy fun time?
Oh my god, no.
There was an alternative version, and it might have been too easy because of fine lady, and everyone should know that fine lady is referring to a chat filter. So that might have been a bit too easy, but this one's a bit more obscure here.
Yeah, but a few teams were able to get this, so that was really impressive. So it was at the right level, I think. This was definitely at the right level, unlike some of the earlier questions, which were a bit obscure. All right, this this question, no one got this question because I think we obscured the question too well. And Forz, I'm gonna let you explain this one. So.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah.
So just show me the first one. All right. So the answer is gonna be the O spoof at Japan Expo in France, but this has a lot of history behind it. So it all started one day when Ryosuke, a French guy, hosted a tournament and made a team. It was Anti-Beat. And Anti-Beat is it's a tournament, right? And it's weird. It was one of the weird things where Anti-Beat had a coach, which was Ryosuke, and he's also the tournament host. You know, there was Anti-Beat, everyone played a tournament. It was one of the early tournaments in the life cycle of Standard, a bigger tournament, right? And then that kind of tournament concluded, nothing really happened. Then we had our All-Stars, which was also kind of hosted by Ryosuke and was also sponsored by Anti-Beat. And this one had a interesting fact, which is it had crowdfunding. And yeah, that's...
and you can see where that one is coming from.
So we had some crowdfunding, and it was an interesting experience at first. And Anti-Beat, in the end, did not win. All right? That's the spoiler of it. SPD won. And that might have not been part of the plans for Ryosuke. So,
back then when tournaments were actually rigged.
Yeah, back then. I mean, look, Ryosuke was the map pooler, the host, and the coach from Anti-Beat. I mean, it was really shady, if you think about it.
You know a funny fact? I'm actually part of the like the World Cup organizing team because of Antibeat as well, which is insane.
Oh my god.
It's the tournament I ever refed for in my entire life.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I remember playing in Antibeat and it was just, it was a mess. But yeah, so going back to the question. So we do have Antibeat here, and they just, SPD never got really paid. They still didn't. I think they got paid by like Peppy or something, like he came in. But the background story is that Antibeat is also helping out for the O stand in the Japan Expo in France event. And they apparently screwed up a lot. It was also, fun fact, in the Antibeat tournament was also prize money, and the team of Antibeat accepted their prize money to be forfeited and being put into a fund which is used to fly Ruruchi to the Japan Expo event. So everyone in Antibeat also said, yeah, we're not gonna take any money, it'll be put towards Ruruchi for his flight. And that was, a bit of information at the sidelines. But yeah, it was they powered the O's booth, and then also apparently there was a lot of shit going on there, which I personally don't know. But the question refers here to which community event was destroyed by a projectile accelerating at near light speed. And the projectile accelerating refers to Ryosuke's old name, which is Accelerator. And at near light speed refers not to the speed challenge or whatever it was called by Logitech. It's referring to an SPD post, which is taking an assumption of how long Lockduff took to pace an OWC team. And, it took like a month or two. And then they calculated at which time or like at which speeds he has to travel to still be paying timely, because when you increase your speed, the closer you get to the speed of light, time delayed, it changes, right? And because he's been taking so long, he has to, according to calculations, travel at 99.23% of the speed of light to be able to still pay right now, well, back to when the post happened, to be still paying on time. And that was kind of the reference to the Twitter post here.
Okay, so that was very confusing, but just to summarize that in a very concise way. Okay, Ryosuke destroyed Ryosuke, okay, he was calculated in a meme post to be traveling at near light speed, and he was responsible for destroying the OS booth at Japan Expo. That's what this question was trying to answer, but there were so many, I think we went overboard with this question. There were so many different things from different events, like there was like community tournament, there was like the calculation, there was the fucking, I don't know, like there's just way too much, right? So, but yeah.
There were a lot into it.
Actually, though, you could actually find all of this in a single Reddit thread, though, which is this Reddit thread, which has the Twitter and Ryosuke and Peppy saying how this bunch of people managed to destroy the Japan Expo booth. So it was all in one Reddit thread, but obviously we couldn't link the Reddit thread because that'd be giving the answer. So we came up with this question, which was probably a bit too hard in hindsight. Okay, no one came close to doing it. Everyone guessed Logitech Lightspeed Challenge. I
don't blame them, to be honest.
And even though like they all knew it was wrong because it was way too easy.
Yeah, it looks like a really tough question, but because of the existence of the Reddit thread, it was a lot easier to actually get right. I think the big issues with the question were just the bait in the question itself.
It was very hard to get into the Reddit post knowing the question only.
It also did not help that the question changed halfway through the quiz from because it was a staff mandate that I changed it because I could not apparently could not slander a user apparently. So
yeah.
Even though we're doing exactly that right now, but okay, this was even worse.
Let's get to question 38. I think we see what's up.
Yeah, this one's even worse. So who pioneered the use of eye drops for the boogers? And the answer is this very famous catch player, Hyper W7. And what's the story behind this? Okay, very obscure again. And this is in reference to AXS4, where Hyper W7 FC'd Boogie with HR at I think it was one of the highest accuracy FCs to date, and it's just a play on words. Prior to this map, he put some eye drops into his eyes. So you can see here it talks about eye medicine, and so Hyper W7 was the person who pioneered the use of eye drops for their boogers in reference to, Boogie and his eye boogers, I guess. So it's a sort of a meme and in-joke about improving performance in catches to use eye drops, but this question wasn't very clear on saying how it was related to catch, and I don't think many people I don't think any teens caught on, so yeah. All right, thank you thank you, Sarton, for the one who provided me this information. All right, okay, Juan, over to you. Question 39.
Oh my god, this is a question I was surprised nobody knew much about this. I thought more people would get it. Even I think I told you about this and you were like, wait, what? You never heard of this? But essentially on MBC number 7, which is a mapping contest that included all game modes, we had a member of the judging team called Spy. You should know him. He was a QAT at some point who got his alumni status revoked after doing many disgusting things to many different people. And one of them was, of course, this mapping contest, where he was judging Tidek's entry of Renatus. This contest was actually kind of rigged as well, unfortunately, because all the judges were like QAT members that were like circle jerking their own stuff to win the tournament, which was pretty sad, honestly. One of the judges was Spy, and he gave low rates to all the people he disliked, and one of them was Tidek. He already knew all the people before reviewing the maps, which were not anonymous. And at some point, he had a discussion with Tidek on a ranked map, and he, even though he was not a QAT anymore, he still had the power to change the grades of the contest for some reasons, and he changed literally everything to a 1. And put that, the most terrible chart I have ever seen, go back to learn about mapping.
I just love that phrase.
Knows about this.
Go back to learn about mapping. I love that.
Yep. That's the thing that happened. He literally changed all his entry to this was just to harass Tidek, and this also got him and Tidek, both of them, banned from posting comments on the Discus, on the maps back then when you had to use Discus to comment a map. They were both banned permanently from that platform too because of this drama.
Yeah.
Tidek, of course, is a very well-known Polish player, captain of the Polish team for many years already. I mean, your World Cup.
Yeah. Wonderful.
I will say about
epic story.
This question: one team
Spy has learned a lot about this, though. Like, I think he's a very, very better person nowadays, but back then he was.
That's 5 years ago.
This kind of person.
It's 5.
Yeah, it was like a long
5, 6
time
years ago. Yeah, people grow up in that time. Anyway, one more thing about this question: one team actually correctly guessed MBC 7, but had the wrong reason, which I thought was hilarious because, like of all of the mapping contests, you picked the correct one, but you had a different reason. So that was quite funny. All right, moving on. Question 40. Where is the missing pixel in Stable?
This is
gonna blow your mind, right? This is gonna completely blow your mind.
This is so simple but so stupid.
Yeah. Okay. So you are not gonna see this game. Either A, you're gonna see this game in a different light for the rest of your life, or B, Peppy's gonna fix this in 2 days and it's ruined. Okay. So where is the missing pixel in Stable? Are you ready? The answer is song select top at 2x, so 2x scale. It only appears on high resolution textures. It's there. Do you see it? Do you want to zoom in a bit? It's right here. Right there. There it is. It's missing a pixel. You can open your OS client right now and check it. It's literally there. It's just there. There's a missing pixel. What? Like, what the heck? So there is a story behind this. This is thanks to RB Rat and Rockroller for telling me the story. Apparently, while they were exporting the skins, the textures for the game in 2014, what happened was while they were exporting this texture, it must have been like a 1 in a trillion chance or something. But like, just there was a bug in the rendering because the vector file, the SVG file, doesn't have this artifact. But when they were converting it into like the PNG or something, like there's just a black dot there. There's just dead pixel. Like, yeah, it's just there. Like literally, what the fuck? Like, why is there a dead pixel? Like, what? Like, oh my God.
I don't think the fact that there is a dead pixel there is all that hilarious, but the fact that you knew about this is the most concerning part, I think.
Well,
who even sees this?
I think skinners would see a lot of this. So when skinners, they try and change these sort of things, they mess with these sort of textures and they see it. But oh my God,
it's like clarifying then. The element in question is song select top and it's unskinnable.
Yeah. Osis Ruin now, unplayable. Like, it's been like this for 6-7 years now? Close to 7 years? Very few people have noticed. But now we're gonna show all the dirty laundry of Os, how it's a terrible game and all that. It's like literally unplayable.
Peppy, please fix.
Yeah.
Fix this on laser, guys, don't worry.
Yeah, so a lot of people thought this was
actually be.
Oh, after you, Force.
No, I mean it might actually be fixed now with laser because
Peppy
they
doesn't know about
should
this.
have all new.
Yeah.
I mean, unless the rendering issue happens again.
But yeah, this one you're not gonna see the game in the same way again. A lot of people thought this was a trick question, but it's quite literal. It's literally on O-stable. There is a missing pixel.
I won't unsee it now. Oh my. Yeah, this is one of those things that once you see it, you'll never see the game ever again the same way as before.
All right. Extra level, which apparently was easier than insane, but on the whole, I still think it was harder. 5 points each, the last 10 questions. Let's get started. Question 41, probably the easiest one. Probably should have been normal, to be honest. But because everyone got the right answer, which cancerous mapper earned over $10,000 from tournaments alone? The answer is Mazarin. Okay, why Mazarin? Because in 2018, Mazarin was diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. So it's sort of a very serious, not the most serious form of cancer, but still pretty darn serious. And so he's literally the cancerous mapper, and he himself has joked about it on some occasion. He literally says cancer mapper gets cancer, I think. And but less known is that he used to be a former League of Legends competitor, having played in LCS in 2013 and winning prize money from several tournaments. So the answer is Mazarin. Forz, you came up with this, didn't you?
Yeah. I would have gone for this wording or like the question if I didn't know that Mazarin's has good humor. And I talked to him plenty, especially for DBC now, the last few months. Yeah, I mean, fun fact, if you want to see something funny, is look for a Mazarin LCS interview on YouTube. That's a great video. I think that's probably where most people know that Mazarin is or used to be an LCS player for League of Legends, and that video is just so good. You have to love it. Like you notice how even back then LCS was scuffed because no one tells the players what to do in the videos or the interviews. So Mazarin just kind of was
he just
lost
stood there, right? He just stood
there. He looked around and just kind of left. It was great.
Okay, this one is sort of my specialty. How might a hidden Hard Rock player have missed out if they were at the movies on Jan 30th, 2017? Okay, this one was a tricky one. The answer is in Taiko, okay, on this exact date, for a period of 90 minutes, Taiko Score V1 had an unintentional nerf where HTHR on Score V1 played exactly the same as Hidden Hard Rock on Score V2, and Score V2 Hard Rock was nerfed as well. So HR was like slightly slower than usual as well, I think. And so for a period of 90 minutes,
I remember this.
Yeah,
when
it was
actually happened. I was there.
Bugged. I think the person who discovered it was Garpo, and he posted about it somewhere in the modding association, and then he highlighted Smooky, and Smooky fixed it within an hour and a half. But there were... It was set during, like... it was early in the morning, I think. It was like 8:30 UTC to 10 UTC. And so all the US players didn't catch on because they were asleep. Most people were still waking up. Yeah, it was...
This was on the time where what happened here is that Scorby 2 Hidden Hard Rock was starting to be developed to be a playable thing.
Yeah.
And this affected Scorby 1 as well in a way, and unintentionally so.
There are a couple scores out there that I'm aware of that were set using this method. So they had a huge advantage because HDHR was even easier on Score V1 than it is on Score V2 today. So it was ridiculous. Like, they set some really amazing scores. And you know, it's sad because it was the golden hour of Taiko, in my opinion. Like, for a period of 90 minutes, Taiko was fixed. Like, this has been requested for the longest time, to fix Hidden Hard Rock, because no one can read Hidden Hard Rock on Score V1. It's unplayable, save for a select few talented individuals, right? It's playable on Score V2, but not on Score V1. And yeah, it's the only time in Taiko history where Hidden Hard Rock on Score V1 was actually playable. So...
RIP. Oh my god, nobody got the next question right either, right?
I love this, yes. Do you have the story? On paper?
Why did nobody ask me about this one? No. This was also discussed about on the World Cup server like 5 days before the quiz was released, and I was like, no way. Why is everybody talking about the quiz thing? But essentially, what happened in 2017 in the World Cup finals, there was a rescheduled request by Brazil. Yes, this is Guilherme Messiat from Brazil, and the reason for that reschedule was because the sun of his window, because the match was scheduled to be at like midday for him, would go straight into his face. Therefore, the solution, instead of agreeing to a reschedule, he asked his brother to stand in front of the window for 2 hours straight. And the worst part is that he actually did it. He did it. I met Guilherme Messiat in person like this year, and I asked him about this. He confirmed that fact, and I was shocked about this actually happening. You can see a picture of how his room looks like. If I remember correctly, that's like his room.
Yeah, so you can see a gap in the blinds here. And so he asked his brother to stand in front of the freaking window. This is, oh my god.
The sun just goes through that little bit and goes straight into his face, and he cannot read anything because of the light. He wanted the match to be slightly later so he wouldn't get disturbed by that. Lockdown projected to the schedule, rightfully so. I wouldn't also agree to our schedule for this ridiculous thing. But the modern solution from the Brazilian World Cup champion now, actually, was to ask his brother to stay there, just standing.
By the way, so after trying to reschedule and asking his brothers, so after his trooper of a brother, right, stands in front of the window, Brazil lost 6-0. So they lost. They just got destroyed.
That match as well.
They just got destroyed. And currently his setup apparently involves him propping a mattress against the window, like an actual mattress, which is pretty insane. But it's Guilherme Messiat, so amazing person. But this is one of the funniest things, honestly. Like, what the heck? Awesome.
You can ask him and he will confirm, most likely.
Yeah.
About this.
So yeah, ask your brother to stand over the window. I don't think I could ask my brother to do that. Oh god, this question.
Oh,
Force, go for it.
Oh my god.
All right, so this question is essentially an interesting piece of trivia, which, funnily enough, like let's just read out the question for now. How did Doomsday and Captain Xen share a couch without ever meeting each other in person? All right. So the funniest thing about this question is if you ask Captain Xen or Doomsday, they both don't know. I think that's the most interesting part of this question, because anyone who's like, both people who are involved do not know. Who does know are the people around both of them, right? And for example, Yazzie and I would know, and like 4 other or 5 other people who were involved in these in this in the meetup events. And how it happened is back in 2018, W3son or Wezon organized a New Year's Sylvester party, well, I guess, for like 10 days with like around 10 people. I was also involved there. And so I was there with Capnex and a lot of other Germans, which just had a fun time there. And then like half a year later, when people were meeting up for, what was it, Gamescom, I believe?
Dokumi
2019. It was Dokumi 2019. Half a year later, when the stuff got exchanged between top players and stuff, the guys here, the UK people and a few other people, stayed in this Airbnb. And they posted this picture on Twitter. And funnily enough, we then noticed, hey, wait a second, this is the exact same Airbnb we stayed at. And they were sitting on the exact same fucking couch as we did. And Wezon actually made a comment to that tweet, which is, the rules of this house is you're only allowed to have at max 10 people in this room. So he said, yeah, I'm gonna tell on you guys for fucking breaking that rule. And yeah, Yazzie is there, like a lot of those players in this picture. Kynan is there, Bubbleman is there, Doomsday, etc.
It didn't have to be Captain XN and Doomsday, but we figured like because they were both mouse players and because they're old players, we figured we put those two in because they're such iconic legends of the game. But it could have been anyone. It could have been how did Yaz and Captain XN share a couch without ever meeting each other. It could have been anyone.
It could have been anyone, yeah, but we took Doomsday and Captain XN because they both wouldn't know. That's the funny part. Captain XN is not really active in the community. Someone actually got a hold of Captain XN, I think, but he didn't know, obviously, because we didn't tell them. It was something we just kind of talked about internally for a second, but Captain XN didn't really pay attention to that conversation. So essentially, the only way you get to the answer here is I think you asked Yazzie, who I think even forgot. Like, if you asked her a few months ago, I think she even forgot. Or you ask me, or you ask Wezon, or you ask two other German people who you probably don't know.
Yeah. So they shared a couch, but just 6 months apart. Honestly, this is truly esoteric knowledge. It's like, I think truly deserves extra level. Like, what the heck? And there was a team who was able to get it. Like, holy crap. Like, they actually tracked down all of the clues. They even wrote a huge document about it. And then they tried to track down each person. And then eventually, following a massive trail, they made it to Forz. And Forz, obviously, being the person who shared this piece of trivia with me, had to tell them the answer. You just needed to get to Forz. But you wouldn't immediately be able to do so seeing Doomsday and Captain XN.
No one knew that I was really part of a meetup that Sylvester because it was pretty private, right? And no one really knew that information. I don't know how they got to me. I mean, I'd be interested to see how they got to me. But yeah, that's the answer here.
All right, this one, this question was reused actually from the OS Monthly 2018 crossword for the astute of you who managed to dig back. But where is a place to be careful when it falls? And the answer is platter. So back in 2018, in Jan 2018, there was an OS catch map called When It Falls. And it was unranked personally by Peppy. Okay, Peppy just stepped in and unranked it because there was an oversight about 2B patterns. Okay, so and it wasn't rankable. So the question asks for a place, and 2B is a homophonous clue to 2B, like to be as in to the number 2 and the letter B, which is the reason why the platter difficulty was unranked, and sort of you can read it as a double meaning, a double entendre, where is a place to be careful when it falls? A platter, because the fruit are falling quite quickly, and you have to be careful when the fruit falls, but also because when it falls, the song name. So this was quite a lot of info packed into a small question. But I was lazy, and it was reused in the OS Monthly February. But that the answers were never released, so I figured no one knew. But then this team had the bright idea of contacting one of the heads of the OS Monthly, who was not me. They contacted one of the old writers for the OS Monthly, who snuck onto my Google Drive and just stole the answer from there. And I'm like, dude, that's so lazy. But you know what? Like, resourcefulness, sure, fair enough. You do you. The answer is platter. All right.
You can check the next slide where you have like some other interesting facts, like the Peppy disqualification post and whatnot. Complete oversight in modding this map. Decimated.
And the crossword, which was never released. Honestly, OS Monthly, it's a shame that it never finished. I mean, it never continued and only lasted for a short while. This would have been the second edition of the OS Monthly, actually, the revival. I don't really see there being a third comeback, unfortunately, as much as I'd love to do that. Too busy writing questions for a trivia quiz these days.
Yeah.
All right, we're down to the last 5 questions now. And question
46 is
super easy.
It's super easy. I think this was like the easiest extra question, probably even easier than the first one. Because who doesn't know about this? Like, everybody and their mothers know about this incident that involved Peppy.
Yep.
The good old folder, the legendary folder, which was displayed on screen, obviously, during the stream. But I think the most obscure part about this that nobody really knows about, or not much people knows about, is that the grand final match was actually pre-recorded and broadcasted afterwards instead of being live streamed. And the reason is because there was DDoS happening towards the players. So the moment the stream got like shut down, so they were streaming the match and the German players were getting DDoS, right?
I think it was Note-Kuroi. It was only Note-Kuroi who was being DDoSed. But yeah.
He was being DDoS, and the moment they stopped streaming, they played that match without telling anybody a map, and he didn't got DDoS anymore. Like, people was like tracking the stream and DDoSing him to make South Korea win that match. And then what they decided to do is instead pre-record the match locally and then restream it as they were being live streamed, so nobody knew about it. And Korea actually won that match, if I recall correctly. That was like a year where Germany should have won the World Cup. I'm not sure if the DDoS actually were the reason why they lost the match. I think it was replayed from scratch, but Germany had such a good team in that year.
Yeah. Interesting one. Probably should have been a normal, to be honest, but you know, it's kind of funny actually. So anyway,
it's good to give some free points.
Yeah. Rapidly moving on. Question 47. Original question 47 was nuked. That's a funny story behind that one, because the internal staff, so OS staff, asked me to remove the original question 47 because it apparently. The original question was, how do you beat auto and score or something? Like, set a play on a rap map, beat auto and score, and then like, oh my god, like some things happened.
It started, yeah. Essentially, it was a question that encouraged you to actually do something somewhat similar to cheating a score, and that's not cool.
Yeah.
So it started tracking detections left and right everywhere. Basically, so like people were getting restricted and stuff like that, so it was not cool. We got rid of it and changed to this.
I think it was something of a bug with like which gives you extra points or some shit, and then that's obviously like not cool.
Yeah. I got a rather sternly worded message from internal staff saying, "What were you thinking?" Anyway, on to question 47 with the replace question. Name a rank beat map where the mapper and the artist are the same. Now, however, if another team names the same beat map, your points will be reduced, and everyone, apart from 2 teams, named a unique beat map. Okay, the only ranked map that was picked twice was Schoolboy Testo. One team actually had the balls to pick Galaxy Collapse, which was the map I suggested, and only one team picked that. So props to you, man.
Wow.
Like, yeah. So the only one that was
a big ring.
Yeah. So I think the more teams that participated, it would have made this more tricky. But there are a lot of ranked maps out there where the mapper and the artist are one and the same, to be honest. There are a lot of ranked maps. Mostly in other game modes as well. So every other team got the full 5 points. Okay. So, nice. Question 48. Suggest a date when the first line of OS code was written. This is something I discovered on my own while browsing the wiki and the forums while researching for this quiz. The answer is actually the 7th of July, 2007. Now, before you jump into sort of a huge disagreement with me, if you go to the History of OS wiki page, you'll find that while documenting the OS history, it says that OS was first released on July 1st, 2007 to a small group of Peppy's close friends and featured very basic blah, blah, blah. Okay, so on the wiki, it tells you it released July 1st. But if you go to one of this specific interview with at Anime Expo 2017, which is the same video for question 2, actually. If you play this video and listen to what Peppy says.
I went home one day, I think it was on my birthday in 2007, and just said, okay, I'm going to give this a try. Spent like 12, 16 hours on it and came up with the first iteration of OS. And
all right, so I think it's very unlikely. So when I first saw this, I thought it was very unlikely that Peppy would confuse his birthday with the start date. So I think like, this is really weird. So my suspicion was that whoever wrote this wiki sort of backdated it to July 1st for convenience. That was my suspicion. So I emailed Peppy about it, and this was his response. So I asked him, during Anime Expo 2017, you claimed that you went home to create OS for the first time on your birthday. However, the website says otherwise. Can you confirm which is the case? And Peppy himself says that the first screenshot record of the game he has is on the 7th. Definitely didn't start as early as the 1st. May have been the night of the 6th or something. 7th of July is the official date. So the wiki is just wrong. It's just wrong. I don't even know what to say to that, to be honest. What do you guys think?
I mean, to be honest, no one is like stopped to actually writing Peppy an email and asking him directly. That's the one thing which bothered me on this question, which is they could have gotten the same answer from like Peppy if you write him an email, because he actually responds to almost every email.
Yeah.
So, did anyone even write an email? How many people got this right?
Quite a few people did, because they stumbled upon this video without stumbling onto this. So if you stumbled onto this or tried to look it up, you would have got the wrong answer. But if you stumbled onto this video, which doesn't specifically mention the date, but if you stumble onto this
just
video
his birthday,
and you knew his birthday,
you need to figure out what's his okay.
Then you would have got the right answer. So it was a very tricky question in that sense. 7th of July is the official date. Peppy actually got a lot of emails from a lot of participants, and he was Juana, you were talking about this earlier before the stream, but you said how Peppy was really excited for the quiz, but then he got a lot of emails and he got kind of annoyed.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah. Last.
I'm not sure if I'm okay with this next question, though. I'll say that much.
Okay, so the last 2 questions were meant to be joke questions, and they were supposed to be unbeatable. Oof. They had literally... I expected no one to solve them. And I didn't expect anyone to solve them. And
I expected people to do number 49. I thought 49 was pretty easy, actually, but...
Oh. Wow.
But it was just tedious to do. Okay,
so in order not to bore you with an incredible amount of physics and stuff, so this is any answer is actually acceptable as long as you make your assumptions clear. It's actually a physics problem in disguise, and the solution is about the conservation of angular momentum. Back when I was doing my physics degree at university, the lecturer told me about a problem that appeared on a 3rd-year paper, which was, what would be the change in the length of day if every person in the UK drove on the other side of the road? Now, the assumptions you had to make were that... So that was the question, and you had to answer this question in an exam paper. No calculator, no whatever. So, and the assumption you have to make was that up, down, left, right, people travel all the same. So if you drive on the other side of the road, it makes no difference. But in the UK, there are lots of roundabouts. And if you drive on the left side of the road, you would go through the roundabouts clockwise. And if you drove on the right side of the road, you'd go roundabouts anti-clockwise. And that would introduce, because you have spinning things, it would introduce angular momentum, and it would therefore affect the rotation of the Earth. So this question was completely based on a problem that I overheard in university physics lecture. So I'm gonna skip through all the physics behind it, but basically the idea, if you want to read through this, you can look at the pod. But we have a couple assumptions about angular momentum. Here's a relevant XKCD post about if you spin on the spot. If you spin on the spot, you can actually rob the Earth from angular momentum, changing the spin speed. So in simple terms, if you rotate the same way as the Earth will slow down. If you rotate the opposite direction, then the Earth will speed up. Now the clever bit, the connection you have to make, is that if every O's player in the world swap-handedness, it would have zero effect on taiko catcher mania because they hit keys. There's no rotational element. However, in standard, players complete spinners, which has a significant rotational element, okay, and it has a calculable angular momentum, and you can approximate this. According to a survey done, you can make some sort of estimates, and there are a bunch of graphs, and we can make some assumptions about people living in the northern hemisphere and people spinning faster, inward versus outward spinning. And then what happens if people swap-handedness? We can check it on Wikipedia that people would have a preference for drawing circles in a particular way. And you can calculate the angular momentum of a single player to be this much, and then you can make some approximations about the number of users online at the time. And you can make some just back-of-the-envelope calculations. And ultimately, we arrive at this calculation, which is comparing the angular momentum of the Earth with the spinner of the hand, where you get the percentage change at the length of day. You get delta L over L Earth. You got a factor of 1.39 times 10 to the minus 35. So you would result in a change in the length of day of being about 1 times 10 to the minus 30 seconds faster. So if everyone today were to suddenly became opposite-handed, the Earth would actually spin slightly faster. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
Thank you, Mango.
Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Now, granted, if you make different assumptions, you could make it slower or faster. I didn't really care. There was this one team, though, who actually wrote a freaking PDF. It was a 12-page PDF, like actually properly calculated and formatted with all equations, all references, like reference everything, and I gave that team a 5 out of 5 because honestly, that's like 5 out of 5 effort. Honestly, like what the heck?
A for effort, yeah.
Yeah, SS for effort, to be honest. But even though their answer was different to mine, it was actually quite similar. It was very close. Like it's the same order of magnitude. So physics is cool. All right. That's question 49, which is why I didn't expect anyone to get that. But actually, a lot of teams got it because that team ended up trading a fake answer to a bunch of other teams, which is quite funny. And finally, question 50, which has nothing to do with trivia and is just basically a riddle. Honestly, I spent like an entire weekend like coming up with this question back in like May or June. Let's dissect this question carefully. Okay, so the answer is ephemeral. Okay, so among the Trinity, a candid rival he is, otherwise a figurehead in his prime. The answer is ephemeral. Why is it ephemeral? So this is the boss question, so congrats if you got it right. By the way, no one got this right. Not to my surprise. I was surprised people did question 49, but question 50, no one got it right. So why is it ephemeral? Why is it, beyond a shadow of a doubt, ephemeral? So here's the explanation. So obviously, this question is a cryptic. Obviously, it's cryptic, right? So obvious. Among the Trinity, a candid rival he is, otherwise a figurehead in his prime. So if you read it in a cryptic fashion, so a cryptic is a type of puzzle where certain words refer to certain actions you have to do. And it's quite common in crosswords, where you have to try and solve a crossword puzzle. So among means you need to pick several words from among a larger group. The trinity refers to 3, which means you need to pick 3 words. So you pick 3 words from the next phrase, a candid rival he is. Otherwise is an anagram pointer. A figurehead is a position held by a person, also describes what you're looking for. So it's a position. And in its prime is a reference to prime numbers. So the anagramized figurehead is in the prime number positions, so being 2, 3, and 5, of a candid rival he is. Okay, so candid rival is. So these are the 3 words you need to pick from a candid rival he is. Now, candid rival is an anagram of David Sinclair, aka Ephemeral, who is one of the figureheads of OS. Okay, so this is why this question directly points to Ephemeral. Okay, so you pick the 3 words, anagramize it, and then you get David Sinclair, who's Ephemeral. Now, this question can actually be read in 2 different ways as well. So it's 3 different ways. So this is the second way. You can read it in a metacryptic fashion. So you can read among these 3 words, a jumbled mess. Unscramble this, because otherwise, and you would discover a figurehead hidden in the prime numbers. Or if you read it literally, my computer's lagging. If you read it literally, among the triumvirate of power held between Peppy, Smooky, and X, or you can pick Zalius or Locktav or whoever you choose, but among the Trinity, X is surely the most candid of the 3. I think we agree. Ephemeral is a very forthcoming individual. He's the PR guy on Oath. He's very upfront about these things. And for everyone else, meaning everyone outside of this Trinity, he is a figurehead in his prime, which he is. He's doing a great job today. Ephemeral's a great guy, and he's getting better every day, to be honest. So, yeah. And that is why question 50, among the Trinity, a candid rival he is, otherwise figurehead in his prime, is undeniably 100% Ephemeral. And now, this question was probably like level 15, to be honest, and I didn't expect anyone to get this. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the entire Triv quiz.
I know some of these words.
Yeah, you know, that among word, I think I saw it when I was playing some games, like, I think it was Among Us, or something like that. Yeah, I think I know that word.
We had a lot of interesting questions, answers to the Trinity for question 50. People's like Cookie Z, Rafis, Hvic, or some other Trinity, you know. But no, it was about sort of the O staff Trinity. I thought this was the perfectly worded question, but it has nothing to do with trivia, and to be honest, it was way too hard, and, you know, yeah. I'm happy with this question, and honestly, I don't think this... yeah, I don't think we will we'll get anything harder than this ever. That's the quiz. So we're on to moving on to the winners ceremony. So we have all the results in, all the teams participated, and yeah, we're ready to show the top performing teams. Okay, are you guys ready?
Hello, Ephemeral.
Oh, Ephemeral's there? Oh my god.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Did you just hear the explanation of this ridiculous thing that we just had?
I
was referring to you.
I actually told Ephemeral about this when I made it, and he swore to secrecy that he would not say it. So, yeah. You're a figurehead in your prime.
Your walk-off, obviously.
Yeah.
A figurehead.
Yeah. I mean, if you contribute to GitHub, I think his name pops up. That's how you know his real name. But
yeah, I saw it on GitHub. I'm pretty sure. If it is on GitHub, it's definitely from there.
I also knew his name, but I don't remember where I saw it. Just somewhere, I guess.
There's a fun fact, by the way, for question 50. Dean Herbert I think, anagrams to like he bartender or something. So that's pretty cool.
Oh boy.
All right. In fourth place, so narrowly missing out on the podium place with a grand total of 60 out of 150 points, we have Team Balls. Hooray! What a wonderful name. So this was a trio. We had Squitstain, Bick, and Freezy. So yeah, we had Team Balls. What a wonderful name. So 60 out of 150, really good, honestly. Very strong performance from them. They were the team that actually got 5 out of 5 for question 49, submitting that 12-page document, which is 200 IQ. In third place, with a grand total of 70 out of 150 points, we have Team 5. Honestly, these team names are so underwhelming. But Team 5 was another trio consisting of Beat, 43210, CDH, and Ice-T. As I understand, Beat pretty much solo carried this one, spending a ridiculous amount of time answering a lot of questions. His team was quite special because he answered questions that no one else did, but he struggled a lot on questions that everyone else got. So that was very interesting. So coming in third place, Team 5 will have a total of 8 months of supporter to freely distribute. And yeah, that's really good. Over in second place, we have a grand total of 73 points. So very close. We have Team 21. Honestly, like they didn't even get a team name. I don't know, but like, yeah, Team 21. So it was a team of 4 of Barak, Unha, Kanochi, and Salmench. Hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
Yep.
They were a Spanish team, as I understand. So their sheet was entirely in Spanish, but they were sort of I didn't see them coming, honestly. Like they joined quite late into the tournament compared to the other teams. I think sort of their team name gives it away, being team number 21 to join. But they actually did really well. They just answered questions that everyone else answered. Yeah, they did really well. And Team 21...
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
They are in the chat right now. I'm seeing like some of them speaking in Spanish, like in the chat. They are like very shocked about it.
Yeah, so...
Sí, po apruebo.
So yeah, Team 21 will be taking home 16 months of supporter to distribute freely, however they wish. But it's time for the grand award. In first place, I think everyone sort of knows which team managed to do the best. They were very active, pestering all manners of individuals, talking to... I think they embodied the spirit of this quiz. They played the quiz how I wanted people to play the quiz, which was to bug the hell out of everyone and just go across the community and talk to everyone. And, just go on a journey, just go on a journey, go on a quest to find information. And yeah, so in first place, we have Team Nerdneck Esoteric Collection of Individuals. What a fantastic team name. Grand total of 84 points. Very strong performance. They got questions, the majority of the points in the extra section, managing to get in touch with, managed to get a lot of the questions that no one else managed to get, essentially. Questions like the Captain XN question, and questions like the Taiko question 42, like the HDHR question, various esoteric knowledge they were able to get their hands on. They spent a lot of time contacting a lot of people. So this team will be netting a total of 24 months of supporter to freely distribute, and as well as a profile badge, if that can be arranged in shortly. The badge actually has not been designed yet, so I need to get on that, but it looks quite nice. So well done, congratulations. You guys were amazing to watch, and I really enjoyed watching you make progress on the quiz. Seriously, you guys did an amazing job. All right. Just a few more things, just 2 more slides, and then we're done for today. Just these stats. Collectively, all teams actually scored 118 out of 150 points. That's actually really freaking impressive, in my opinion. I did not expect that many questions to be answered. That's really impressive. And below were the questions that people were unable to answer fully. If you want, for the teams who are participating, I'm happy to release the score sheets shortly with the answer sheets and all that. But yeah, really well done to all participating teams, to be honest. And it was joy to watch everyone play and have fun over the past 4 weeks.
I mean, imagine if you had kept this exclusive only to OWC players. What would be the combined score? 30?
40 maybe? I don't know. There are some bright people in OWC.
Yeah. But not enough time really, because they just want to keep on playing.
All right. And that's all, folks. So that was the OS Trivium Quiz 2020. And yeah, I enjoyed this so much. It was a lot of planning, a lot of effort to get this all sorted. It would not have been possible without all the helpers I had. So thank you, Juan. Thank you, Forz. Thank you, everyone else who was mentioned. Thank you, all the artists. Thank you to all the people I talked to. It was great fun. Past 2/3 of the year trying to look for information and all that. And honestly, it was so much fun that I'm totally willing to do it again next year for 2021. Perhaps, possibly with some bigger budget. I don't know. Maybe make it official. I don't know. We'll just have to talk about that. Juan, what do you think?
I mean, I think you did a great job. Like, I will certainly not have been able to put like this 50 questions together. So congratulations for doing this. I think arrangements might be able to be done. I don't think that's too... That's not something we have to care too much about right now. We're more like, if you actually want to do it, then we can start working on it and we'll figure it out throughout the way.
I spent like 300-400 hours writing this quiz. There are so many scrap questions we haven't used, and there's so much stuff. We could write a new quiz right away, to be honest. But yeah, that's...
Pretty much, yeah. We have like 20-ish questions already for next year. So,
That's all. Well. Yeah, that's all, folks. That's
all, folks.
Yeah, it's a 2.5-hour stream almost. Did run over a bit longer than anticipated, but it was a whole lot of fun. Thank you to everyone who participated, man. And hopefully we'll see you next year. That's all.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Until then, stay tuned for more Mango questions. And yeah,
for more Mango games.
It's definitely been a ride, and a very interesting one at that.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right.
Well, guys, have fun. I guess we'll see you next year.
Welcome to OS, and see you next time.
Goodbye.